way to be in.
Oh, I suppose we don't get to do our rolls, huh? Because we're in the middle of a fight.
No.
Well, not in the middle of a fight, but we are in the middle of a mission.
Yeah, just war. We're in the middle of a war.
I don't have to get like two. I don't have to get like one more green.
Okay, so we're back. We are live once again. Everything must be green, apparently. So we will deal with that.
The legacy is very eco-friendly.
Yes, much like
Yes.
werewolves. So we need to roll for karma. It is the first game of the month.
Right.
Who wants to roll? You want me to roll?
Davey should roll.
Davey, roll it.
Last time it's not gonna come out good, but okay. What is it? 1d50?
Yes.
1d10.
Yeah.
1d10.
He rolls 1d50
5
and
times.
it comes out 2.
Like, dang it.
Okay, not bad. 5.
Okay, so
See,
let's
I believed in you.
Well, that went a long way. That's usually a 2. So
So that's going to grant us 1,500 karma, and added to what we got, that means we got a total now in the group bank of 2,805.
Nice.
Did you replenish our spending karma?
Yeah, that actually happened last time when we got the Christmas karma, I think.
Christmas karma.
Christmas karma.
All I want is karma for Christmas.
So can we do power stunts?
No.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. Your character is like in a back to tank.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey,
oh yeah, do it in the back
Speaking-
tank.
she could do it in a coma.
Yeah,
Doing image trading in a coma.
yeah. She dreamed it, but
So
it worked.
who is going to give us the game recap for tonight?
I will do the game recap because I took notes.
Alrighty.
Last time.
Last time,
You forgot the name of the game?
modern age heroes.
Last time on Jeopardy.
Last time on Jeopardy. No. But last time on last game, what did we do? We did stuff. We did the following things. The day after the invasion, Dr. Rostenkowski and Schoen remain in the med bay. The team begins to strategize how to take down the Duridian ships, possibly use Dr. October's computer virus, develop sonic weapons, find a defense against the EMP/anti-tech powers Senia has, find a motive for Tyrax's invasion, or meet at Jimmy's and get the word out. Lightbringer has a vision of things yet to be. Senia has been working with the Duridian Empire. She sees the survivors rounded up and sent into camps. She immediately tells President Jurgen of the vision. The team go ahead and meets with the president, President Jurgen. The moon base was constructed but not armed. There are 20 Duridian ships over the Earth at this time bombarding it. President Jurgen has been in contact with the Baltic allies, telling them to preserve their air force and wait for the ground assault. The USA, with amazing grace, has been putting up a fight, teleporting the bombardment beams back at the ship. The Justice Legion is okay. Jurgen orders the Legacy to finalize plans for the transceiver to restore comms to key world powers and hand it off to Dr. Dynamo when finished. The Tavaxian ambassador escaped. If successful, Tavaxian reinforcements would be 3+ days away. Senia has been untouched by the bombardment. The team then goes to the fortress in space, where the team splits up. Xenofreeze, Hyperion, and Lightbringer head to the secret Dexamite fortress to get the word out to the Tavaxians. Lightbringer has another vision of things yet to be. And she sees that if they send the message that they were currently working on, they see the legacy defeated and the galaxy surrendering to the Duridians. The trio decide to call Collapsing Star. Collapsing Star offers a possible motive for the invasion as a possible grudge against Electrum. Collapsing Star declines to sit on the Black Throne. He will be on Earth in 1 day. The team heads back to New Prussia after completing the plans for the transceiver. With a red result, the group heads to Amarillo, Texas to find Dr. Dynamo. And that is what the Legacy has been up to.
Alrighty. Any word from Sean? Blub blub.
No!
Yeah, that's the word.
She's fighting bad guys in her coma.
That's a historical statement. It's the common vocabulary for one who is underwater.
Are you supposed to hear something from Sean?
Yes.
Only when you
Are we?
try.
Only
Am
when
I out?
spoken to.
Am I actually out of my coma now?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Someone needs to clean her
It was just
aquarium.
that awkward silence. I wasn't sure.
No, you're fine.
You did a great job last week, though.
Oh, yeah, thank
Oh,
you.
yeah. Shelly wins the RP karma and gets 200 karma.
That was insane.
So,
Okay,
there
well,
we go.
you guys have managed to get over to Amarillo, Texas. Boom.
All right.
Let's get that pulled up here real quick.
Who is taking notes tonight?
Ooh, good question. Oh,
Oh, George.
All right, well, Amarillo, Texas obviously is not like Dallas or anything of that nature. It is, by comparison, it is a decently sized town. When you randomly get, remind me again how you guys got there. Actually, did you fly or?
We used a portal to first go back to the vein, and then since Amarillo, Texas was within range, you just made a new portal to like the center of Amarillo, Texas.
All right. So you wind up, there's obviously no one here currently. You are in Wonderland Amusement Park. It did end up taking a direct hit from one of the blasts. So, for one of the orbital strikes. So there is a giant hole in the middle of the park at this point, with obviously a lot of the debris and rides and whatnot kind of broken outward from there. Remains of a carousel and a Ferris wheel are strewn about and whatnot.
Are we seeing
it is
more
a legit
bombardment
place.
nearby?
You can Google it if you'd like to. It's a kind of a low-end amusement park. And I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Are we seeing bombardment happening like nearby, like closer
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
city?
occasionally.
Okay.
Since this isn't a major hub, like a major city like New York or LA or whatnot, the strikes are much less. You still see occasionally like one fall down, but in the time that you've been here, like in the span of like maybe 5 minutes, one has come down.
Okay.
So it's I mean in when you think of war, it's not exactly terrible. It is still occasionally getting quote unquote shelled.
Right.
But it's being it's not getting anywhere near the attention as major hubs of civilization are.
Okay.
Should I make a signal in the sky to tell him to come to see us?
I wonder what would you show in the sky that would call Dr. Dynamo?
I can write his name.
Did we contact Dr. Dynamo ahead of time to let him know we were coming?
I don't think-
Communications aren't
Yeah.
possible currently.
Not standardized communications, anyways.
Right. That's literally the problem we're attempting to solve as we speak. So, yes, Lightbringer, that's a good idea as any to at least see if we can get some sort of response, assuming he's watching the sky.
Okay. Should I just put his name or should I put like a message also?
Southwest All Stars.
Provide the following coordinates, and he goes ahead and provides the coordinates of where he calculated they ended up in Wonderland Amusement Park.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and try to make an illusion across the sky that says that.
Okay. Why don't you give me a psyche check? Not because you can't do it, just because it's a little extensive. It's different making an illusion of a person or like a wall or something. You're basically
That's a white heat.
You're basically making a neon sign. So
Maybe a little ambitious.
again, it's not impossible. You're just having trouble focusing right now with everything that's kind of going on, and you can still hear the cries for help in the distance from people in distress or looking for lost ones. You can occasionally hear the sounds of sirens, so it's just there's a lot of background noise. It's making it hard to concentrate.
Maybe we should head to a part of town where there's some activity, and maybe the All Stars would be over there.
I agree. That makes sense. Getting there through flight would be fastest. Pulsar and Lightbringer, would you be willing to fly those of us who can't
Yeah,
through
of
the
course.
air? Excellent.
Hop on my back.
Yeah, I'll just do the Princess Carrie.
Okay. I can show you the world.
Well, how many people? Oh, it's because it's how many people can't? Is it just the two of us that
Yep.
can fly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I will.
Technically, Xenofreeze can get himself around, but he would be limited because he can't go anywhere near as fast as you can, as you guys.
Okay, so I will Princess carry Xenofreeze, and I will put Hyperion on my shoulders.
Okay, so as Hyperion, as you climb up onto his armored shoulders,
Yeah.
you see like right around his ribs area,
Mhm.
and kind of like right around his shoulder, the armor extends a bit in kind of a beveling way, allowing you to essentially ride him. You adjusting for like your knees or whatnot. That way you're just not like dangling down.
Right.
You're still open and exposed or whatnot, but the armor is extended just enough so that way you have the capability of like holding on or
Got it.
easier
do the-
without physically like manhandling him.
You
Right.
can do the whole Titanic thing.
But you guys collect everybody and you take off and fly off into the sky. Smoke billowing in a number of different locations as first responders race to try and help as many people as they can. You can also see that there is aircraft that are attempting to land. Like planes that had been caught mid-flight, traveling from one place to the other. Some are clearly trying to make emergency stops to get out of the sky, because if they're struck in the sky, they're dead. They're just done. So they're trying to get out of the skies, get down to the ground someplace where they can, hopefully live, or or will be safe. Texas Amarillo does have a small international airport, so you can see that there's obviously some activity going on over there. However, almost smack dab downtown, near the Amarillo College Bird Business Building, which is basically, there's Amarillo College is down there. It looks like many of these areas are they're trying to use them as shelters to get people inside and hopefully safe. And you can actually see the Southwest All-Stars zipping around and adding to assistance. Like you see, get them pulled back up here. Oh, here we are, passed them up. Oh, no wonder I keep missing them. Okay, let me parse that out a little bit with a space. Boop. Okay. Connie, Constant Connie, with her her ability to multiply herself, she's on the ground, running around, basically directing traffic, helping those who can't walk, or are crippled, or injured and impaired some way, like quickly trying to bring them in, and on the ground relaying messages back and forth to first responders that are assisting with them. The outsourcer, he's that guy that looked kind of like a gumshoe,
right?
When you saw him originally, he has. It looks like he is currently duplicating Miracle Maiden's powers, and he's using magnetism with her as well. And they're trying to basically build up additional fortifications and or reinforce buildings in this area, should an explosion happens nearby. Because, I mean, if in essence, if a battleship fired its main cannon, right?
Yeah.
And it hits your house, it really doesn't matter what the house is made out of.
Yeah, right.
Your house is in house heaven.
Right.
But if that main cannon gets fired and it's in the neighborhood, well, if you reinforce some of the buildings, then yeah, it may be able to withstand some of that sudden impact, that the splash damage essentially. And that's ultimately what they're hoping for.
Okay.
Reinforcing it against potential weather and anything that might be coming up. So they're just, again, they're doing all that they can, and Dr. Dynamo is kind of up in the air. He's got what appear to be goggles attached to his head, but like a new set, which seems to be relaying some information. And he's like, he's taking a leadership role and kind of directing things as they go, and looking to, you can see like, if somebody's down the street somewhere, because obviously there's no communications or whatnot, he's calling it out, trying to get, assistance out that way. And if first responders need assistance with it, he's trying to get some duplicates of Constant Connie to rush over there to assist. So he's basically directing traffic from above and coordinating everything as best as possible.
Okay.
And as you guys come flying up, he probably does see you, but he's super busy with everything that's going on. So it's not like he hails or waves or anything.
Gotcha. So then Hyperion will be like, first we need to set up, probably on the as we were flying, he'd ask Lightbringer to set up a crown network to make sure that we're all good for comms right now. And then
do I need to roll for that?
You sure do.
Okay.
You're in an active war zone
Psyche.
at this point. You will need to roll for Psyche.
Does crown work again? Did we fix it?
Good question.
Was it
Yeah.
damaged before?
It was forcibly shut down, if
Oh,
you
it
remember.
was.
It was EMP'd.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Why don't you go
Well,
ahead
I
and
don't- We were
give me a psyche check,
Yeah.
Brittany.
Okay.
Oh, then I should probably check my bow.
In your arm. Isn't your arms?
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
wifey.
You are currently having trouble reestablishing the crown network.
Okay.
Which means you probably need to forcibly reboot it or open it up real quick or something and just make sure that the EMP didn't actually damage anything. Red Arsenal, why don't you go ahead and also give me a psyche check? Your arm is
Alright.
fine, by the way.
Nice. TY6. Let's
Woohoo! Get on up.
TY.
James Brown.
Heck yeah.
Green feet.
Oh, look at that.
Woohoo.
Okay, so as you're landing and you realize as everybody's starting to go through your protocol and you're like, oh crap, yeah, we did have problems with technology, whatnot. So you quickly take a moment to like form an arrow. You're not gonna fire it, but you're like testing out the formula. Yeah, the arrow it energizes as it should and looks like it will be ready should fighting break out.
Nice. Okay.
Okay,
Alright,
can
good
I
to go.
can I hard reset the crown?
Go ahead and give me a reason check. I take it you're touching down at this point someplace near to do this because you can't really do it with people in your arms.
Yeah. That makes
You don't
sense.
know me.
Okay.
Well,
Kidding.
So Lightbringer attempts to pull a Tony Stark while you hear while
Oh,
I
wifey!
had
We
the time
agree.
of my
Can I-
life.
He does
Can
know
I
you.
hard reset my brain?
Do
I
you
know.
need a reroll by chance?
I have one. Is this the time to use it though?
no, not for this, I don't think.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. But then, while seeing you're having trouble with that as we land, the Hyperion says,
Maybe I'll give it to you.
yeah, actually, Hyperion will be like, let me see if I can reset it for you. And while I'm doing that, can you at least form a connection with Dr. Dynamo since he's so busy?
Yeah, let
Go
me
ahead
try
and
that.
roll for that, Brittany. And Brittany, you got a reroll thanks to Davey.
Thank you.
Nice.
Does anybody else need a reroll?
Question.
I'm gonna kind of turn to them and say, like, shouldn't we help them if we can help them with the repair effort? They should hopefully be able to talk to us sooner.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yellow result.
Okay. You are able to establish a telepathy link directly to Dr. Dynamo. Dale, you want to give a reason check to quickly go over and try to reestablish the crown, or just to actually debug the crown network?
Sure. Can I use repair/tinker?
You sure can.
Nice. Okay, so that's gonna be
Because that's exactly what it's there for.
exactly. All right. Green feet.
Boom. So you find that it had superficial damage for when it fell after the whatever initially happened. So it was just a matter of reconnecting a couple of diodes and plugging back in essentially like a backup battery that networked in the whole crown. So
Cool.
Thankfully, no lasting damage. You're probably going to want to give it an overhaul when you have a moment. But yeah, you're good.
Okay. So he clips that back into place, hands it back to Lightbringer, saying, "This should suffice for now, but once we have time, I'll fix it further."
So, Lightbringer, you have a connection to Dr. Dynamo.
I'll say, "Hey Doc, this is Lightbringer. We're on your 6 and we need you when you have a minute."
Yeah, I saw you coming in. Apologies. As you can tell, we are extremely swamped with the orbital strikes. If you can, if you can give me a couple minutes, I may have a few to spare. I've really backed up trying to coordinate the first responders right now.
Yeah, of course. We're at your disposal, but this is urgent.
He says, "Okay, if you're here to help, we right now we have what appear to be some refugees who got caught out of town or outside of town coming in. They were intending to go to the theme park here. Several people have tried calling in on ham radios to let us know. It was a youth group that there are about 50 or so strong. We think they're on the north side of town, still near their bus. We haven't been able
Where
to
do you want 'em?
establish. We haven't been able to establish any sort of connection with them. All communications are down right now.
Okay, yeah.
If you can grab them, and if one of you or some of you can grab them and bring them back this way, we're trying to set up essentially a base camp here. The last word we received from the Justice Legion is that we should probably expect some sort of ground forces in the near future.
Okay. And you said north of
Roger
town?
that. Yeah, so I'll relay that to the group and say, Hyperion, maybe we can use your conduit to transport more of them.
Precisely. I can generate an ending point here. That way, when we actually reach the youth group, they can all simply travel through it and instantaneously be here. So he's going to go ahead and generate an opening portal that just leads to this area.
Okay. He sees you doing that, and since he's connected directly to Lightbringer, he says, "Lightbringer, can you have Pulsar fly through? See if you can coordinate them, get them all back on the bus, and anybody else that might be in the area, and have him just lift it up and bring it through. Can you get Xenofreeze to put out the fires in that area? We don't want any tertiary damage spreading throughout the city and creating more problems."
Roger that. So I'll relay that.
Okay. Can we I'll turn to Hyperion and say, Hyperion, can we fly through this, or do we have to wait for you to make the other end of it?
Let me generate the end of the portal here. At that point, then we'll fly northward and see if we can actually find them.
Since you were actually just there, you can without even rolling, because you know where it's at. You can use the parking lot for that theme park you were just at as the opening for the other conduit, since you know they're in the area. So it's just a matter of circling back around, getting them through that. I mean, it may not be right on top of them, but it's definitely in the vicinity.
Right. All right. So let me go ahead and generate the opening to the portal that leads here. Green feet. All right. So he opens that up, and then he's like, all right, I have that portal established, and he closes that one for now. And he's like, let's head back to the amusement park, and we'll get to the children from there. And then he opens up the portal of where they just came from, back to the Wonderland amusement park.
Okay. So you reopen that, or reestablish it now in the parking lot there. You can see, if you're looking at a map of Amarillo, Texas, you can see that it actually sits right off of the freeway. Presumably that's where they were coming in from.
Okay.
He thinks it may have been north. So you'll want to start your hunting from there.
Okay. All right. If we can fly high in the air and traveling along the interstate. While doing that, I'll be generating extra copies flying alongside us for extra eyes in the sky.
Jerome, can I roll for Crown again?
Yes, go ahead.
Would you like to use some karma?
Nah.
Okay.
Ooh, red.
Ooh,
97.
you did not need it.
Yeah, it's a good thing you did.
Can I add Dr. Dynamo to our network?
You absolutely can.
Okay. Do I need to roll for that?
You actually have communications with him. So in order to not create
Just a matter
feedback, yes.
Merge it. Oh, I do
Right.
have to roll. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Essentially, what you're trying to do right now is,
Green.
yeah, you're fine. So essentially, what you were trying to do is you have two microphones right here, one speaker, and you didn't want to go hi, and then the feedback come at you, and you go, oh, that's too loud. So you basically mentally merge them at this point, bringing them into the network.
Nice.
You're merging
Doctor-
on the same call.
Yeah.
Dr. D, welcome to the party line.
Oh, this is. Have you established multiple telepathic connections?
Yes, sir.
Oh, excellent.
Would you like me to try adding your team as well?
That would be amazing. If you don't mind me constantly talking on your line.
Sure. I'll do my best.
Okay. You are adding 4 other people.
Constant Connie,
Now do you want Karma?
the outsourcer, and Miracle Maiden.
Maybe.
So 3. Be careful, you guys are hitting microphones or something. So that would be 3. So give me a yellow result to add 3 all at once. 3 new people, anyways.
Okay, I'll try it. I'll try it raw. Yo!
Boom!
Oh.
Boom, baby, boom.
Nice.
Hey, so I'll say, Southwest All-Stars, welcome to the Crown Network. You are speaking with Lightbringer, but Dr. D is still in charge.
Okay, so there's a moment of confusion, there, and you can hear that their, chatter at this point. It's like, whoa, what the heck is this? And Dr. Dynamo at this point says, it's okay, just focus. We're directly connected telepathically at this point. So continue doing what it is you're doing. We've got assistance from the Legacy. They're going to try and bring in some of the other survivors in. So it's just a coordination network, trying to keep the channel clear as best as possible to hopefully not overload anything.
Yeah, especially Lightbringer's brain. We need that brain.
Lightbringer, we need to work on your disc jockey voice. You need like a soundboard.
Welcome to the Crown Network.
Welcome to the Crown Network.
Wait, do I sound like
Crown
late night radio, or do I sound like, early morning radio?
It's your show.
Yeah.
Night
Welcome to
like
Smooth
Vince,
Jazz.
Vince Scully,
I'm your eye in the
Alright.
sky, pulsar up in the helicopter over North Amarillo, looking for
Play some-
survivors.
Play some Kenny G.
Right.
Okay, I'll take to the air and try and get an aerial view of where any of the stragglers are.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
So then I have to ask, Red Arsenal, what are you doing in the meantime?
That's a good question. I'm going to go with the team, and I'm going to see if I can't commandeer like a motorcycle or a car that's been left on the side of the road with the keys in, and I want
Are
to take
you
a
going to
drive.
steal in the middle of a war?
It's
I
a
take
war.
it, yeah.
It's not stealing.
I'm simply using this to say as a moment, picking on Davey to do it, but in a moment, as you rightly pointed out, it's a war. So I'm not there. There are certain things that I'm going to make lax because the rules don't really accommodate that kind of a threat level.
It's called
Okay.
commandeering. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm not using it for
Borrowing.
profit or anything like
Right.
that. I'm using it to find.
pillaging the half blown up Walmart for
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
supplies.
I'm
Yeah.
requisitioning this dirt bike, sir. Please
Yeah.
give me the keys, or I will shoot you with my arrow.
Now that might be a different scenario.
Yeah, that might be a different scenario. But if it's just an abandoned car that they left while running for their lives,
This is Texas too. Be careful.
yeah.
So obviously there are some that are here. There's no motorcycle, but you do find a Chrysler Town and Country,
oh, let's go. That's perfect.
2011,
Yes.
left in the parking lot here.
In 1995?
Yeah,
I was
that's
gonna
Oh,
say,
right, yes.
2011.
So then that would be. Let me see when they.
It's still a town and country. It's just a 95 town and country. Or a 94 town and country, actually. 'cause we just...
You get a Pontiac.
Or an 84 town and country?
Oh, that's even better.
Hold on. I'm gonna do a
So they
timer to see how
started
long this
in the
takes.
90s, so you've got a 1990
Yeah.
A
Chrysler Town
Pinto.
and Country.
He needs a Pinto.
No,
No,
that's
that's too cool.
Yeah.
This is Texas. He's probably got like a Ford or a Chevy or something like that.
The Wayne's Mobile.
A pickup
So,
truck.
but yes, so you have that. There is an empty gun rack in the back.
Of course.
Okay.
It is
That-
Texas.
It is Texas.
I'm from there. I
in
know.
in the Chrysler.
Yes.
Yeah.
This
I
is
mean,
an
they
upscale-
took their guns and
upscale
ran.
redneck.
That's a good move.
Mhm.
I
You
agree.
never know when banditos are going to attack.
Yep. All right, get in the van.
So give me
Start
a
circling.
reason check to try and, or no, you know what? It would be agility. Give me an agility check to try and
Drive this through the
No,
destroyed highway. Oh.
to try and get into the van.
Yeah.
Oh, white feet.
Okay, well, obviously you tried the first thing. It is locked,
That's a
so
shame.
it is not unlocked. So when you try and do something to pop the lock, obviously it is, you can't do it.
Yeah.
You don't have anything on hand, tool wise. Now, do you want to break the window and commandeer it?
Can I look for another car that might be unlocked?
So trying to find a car that, sure, go ahead and give me an intuition check.
Yeah. Roll. Intuition.
Intuition.
What a show.
Okay, yellow.
Okay. So you're looking around. You do find another vehicle. This particular one is an El Camino from 1980.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Part sedan.
That
Part
is actually
pickup.
open.
Oh, perfect. Get in. Turn it on and
So
start.
at this
yeah.
point, give me a reason check to hotwire.
Hot wire.
This is all going in the notes, by the way.
White feet.
All right.
Destroyed the dash.
So
Yeah.
you got the column open, and unfortunately now you're having problems with hot wiring. Not problems you would normally want to have in the middle of an invasion, but at least it means you were very innocent.
Yeah.
You don't have these skills for a reason.
And or not super technical.
Also, are the rest of us all just flying while he's just like working on this?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, at this point, you guys are starting to fan out and investigate. So why don't all of you who are doing so roll intuition checks?
For that are doing what?
Looking for the people
Oh,
along the freeway.
I got a green.
So did I.
I did it first.
Sorry, intuition.
Yes.
Green.
And Derek got a white.
it's Texas. Look at that. Never been here before. That's about it.
Okay, well, Brittany has the highest intuition of the ones that rolled. So, Brittany, as you were flying around, you end up spotting. You don't spot the people, but you spot the bus in question. It looked like it got caught up in traffic a little ways away from the amusement park. So it got caught up near Hastings Avenue, or the turnoff, I should say, to near Dumas Drive and Hastings Avenue.
I will relay that, and then I'll fly closer to see if they're still on the bus.
Okay.
Or if they've left the bus.
You flying closer, as you were looking around, you don't appear to see anybody on the bus because, again, it got bottlenecked into traffic coming off right there. However, It looks like they may have some people may have run to the fire station that is directly across the street there. The fire station does have some superficial damage to it as a blast went off in that lot. It actually nuked the specifically the baseball grounds that was sit on the other side of it. So one of the baseball diamonds got fragged, causing some damage to the building here. But it's possible there are people inside.
Okay, I'll go in. Do you want me to make would it be helpful to do a an empathy sweep to kind of figure out where the people are?
There you go.
Okay.
Where is it?
another
Where'd you
psychic-
say as far as the address goes? Roughly?
Dumas
Dumas
and Hastings.
Dumas Drive.
Hmm.
And
okay,
Hastings
I've got
Avenue.
Dumas. Oh, and Hastings. So a little bit further north.
It's a psyche check, right?
Yes, it is.
There's a Napa
Green.
Auto Parts here.
Got a green? Okay. It's a jumbled mess. You can't focus on any one specific emotion outside of that there is some fear and panic. And there is quite a bit of it coming from that fire station.
Okay. Then I'll head into there and try and find people.
Well, I mean, as soon as you touch down, one of the doors, the big doors that come up, big bay doors that come up where the fire trucks would be parked, is actually still kind of open. Looks like it might have been jammed due to the damage. And so, I mean, you can see people kind of hunkered down, curled into corners and trying
Cool.
to huddle into like rooms and get chairs and desks over them. And
Okay.
whatnot.
Cool. All right. So I'll go inside and I'll say, "Hey, folks, it's okay. You're gonna be okay. If you could get back on the bus, we're gonna teleport you to safety."
Roll your popularity.
Okay.
And for you, obviously, this is your non-New Prussia popularity.
Right. Okay. So it says 36. What does that fall under? Remarkable.
It would be, yes, because it doesn't pass up
Okay.
40.
Green.
Nice. Okay. Are you going to let everybody else know that you found them?
Well, once they start moving, then I'll
Okay.
I'll relay that. On
All right. Well, they hesitate for a second, but a couple people recognize you. In the
Hey,
group.
that's Lightbringer.
Pretty much, yeah. It's one of those things like they start. They realize you're a super, but a couple of them realize who you are and they have favorable opinions and it's like, no, we got to go. If she says we got, if that's where we need to go, we need to go. People, come on. And again, still some hesitation because the whole unknown thing. It's like it's hard to imagine, but imagine walking outside under the threat of being squashed by a large garbage dumpster.
Meteor. Oh, a dumpster. Oh.
Or a meteor or something. You don't know if it's actually going to hit. You don't know where it's going to hit. You just know they're falling.
Yeah.
And that would be kind of scary. So there's some hesitation, but you kind of keep them going and reassuring them. So they all start, trying to run and race back to the bus.
I can bring the bus to them. Like, that's probably faster, so that way they don't have to run across through traffic. I'll just pick up the bus and bring it over.
Sure.
Okay. So as soon as they start,
so I'll say, hang on, wait here. We'll pull it around.
There you go.
Do any of you know where anyone else went? Are there any of your friends that should be here that are not here?
No, they collectively they all look around and A couple of them are like, no, I think we're all here.
Okay.
There wasn't anybody at the cars when we got stuck. Like everybody just started, running for the hills. So
Yeah. Understandable. Okay, sit tight. Sit tight. We'll be right here.
okay. So
it'll go
Pulsar,
right
give
here.
me a strength check.
Okay.
Not because you can't lift it, just because it's awkward.
It's a
Whoops.
It's a matter of where he
Are you
grips it.
kidding me? Do I have a
Oh,
reroll?
no.
Yeah, my sheet says I have a reroll. I'm going to use that. This is
Okay.
ridiculous.
I will give you another one.
I was like, I surely don't need it with a UN 100. rolled
Two
ex-
says otherwise.
I rolled exactly what I needed to get a terrible thing. Ugh. It's because I don't have an accent on this character. Let's see. Actually, where's my... Hold on. I got to find my note because I'll just probably spend karma on this because I can, and that works. But now
I'll give you a reroll.
Emotional damage.
And you just
You need to come up
need
with
at
a
least a
galactic
16. So if you
accent now.
spend 15,
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay. Because I know I've got it. Okay. All right, here we go. Yeah. Plus 15. Yeah. It's the
Every time we spend karma, we get a red piece.
it's the pendulum of digital dice.
Right.
Well, at least you did it without any problems.
Right.
So you take a moment or two.
whoop, whoop.
You're still kind of new to this, but you can lift a whole lot, and so immediately you start lifting it, and you're a little ginger with it, rather than just grabbing it up like you would just a cup or whatnot. So your worry again is not that you can't lift it, is that you're going to exert too much strength and tear it in half, or ram it into the ground by mistake because you overhandle it.
That has happened.
He thinks
So-
it's more sturdy. He just grabs the bumper and he's like,
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it could be something like that. Again, it's a matter of you're testing your strength. And so you take a moment and you're like, okay, I've got this. And then you take up into the air and then you set it down gently where they're at in that parking lot there. And you can see in the distance another beam comes down. You hear a loud explosion nearby, which frightens everybody.
It's okay.
I would-
Everything's gonna be okay.
are there any fires in the general vicinity of where we landed?
There are, yes. So why don't you
I
give
would
me
be-
some dexterity checks as you start lobbing your ice around to put that stuff out.
If I'm close enough, then I just go, generate some cold.
I figured you just frozone it.
Where's his
Yeah.
super suit?
Mm,
Where's my super suit?
You said agility,
Yes, agility.
agility.
Oh, is my typing too loud?
No, you're fine. Okay, so
okay.
so
The pendulum swings the other way.
so
Yep.
you're I'm not gonna make you re-roll. The first several shots that you take, they're wide. And you know why. It's because you've never been in a war and you're winging it. You're trying to just get everything done as quickly as possible. And it's like there's a fire over there. Poof, okay, well I hit the tree. The tree isn't gonna burn. That's not really helpful, but okay. And then then you hit a fire, and then there's a burning car. Poof, oh, that was the van. No, okay, well we gotta it's like you're exerting yourself more than you intended. So what would have been 5 shots took 10.
It's
Sort
okay.
of thing.
It's his first war.
Yeah.
This has never happened to me before.
Happens to all guys during a war. It'll happen to you.
Performance issues,
My gun got jammed, I swear.
But if all the people are like filing into the
Yes.
bus, then Hyperion will then of course make the portal so it can just be like push the portal back
Okay.
to the All Stars.
Okay, so you're pushing them through, getting them secured and taken care of.
As safely and as carefully so as to make sure that everybody arrives uncrushed and safe.
Oh, once you get them in, because the bus wasn't really damaged; it was just left at an awkward position. So at that point, it's just a matter of you just kind of leaning into it and pushing it through the portal.
Okay. Yeah.
It's you don't even have to shove it or anything. You just kind of walk and lean, and it's good.
We put it in neutral. We just push it.
Yeah, that's literally that's all you had to do. I mean, that part was easy peasy.
Okay.
So you end up getting them through, and you can see that they're while you guys have been out and doing that. And by the way, Red Arsenal, you've got your El Camino.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
So presumably you have been driving around trying to look for everybody. Are you gonna drive back, or are you just gonna leave it at the fire station?
I think I'm gonna leave it at the fire station.
You could just drive it through the portal and
I really hope the owners at the
Yeah,
place.
no, I'm gonna leave it at the station.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. So you leave it there. Everybody files back through the conduit portal that has been created, and you get back and you realize while you guys were away, they have started building. They've started building kind of a bit of a dome around the around this particular block, and they're just grabbing scrap from all over the place. Be it used vehicles that have been damaged, light posts, just anything that can be repurposed. And between Miracle Maiden and don't even know
Constant Connie?
Outsourcer.
they are mashing everything together in like this in like a giant mashed together wall, a semi wall that's going around it. Interestingly enough, it looks like at certain points they've got like bent steel beams that kind of angle upward. It's not creating a full dome effect, but it's like it. And it's hard to say what exactly it's for, but they're almost coming up like claws, kind of outside of the walls.
Are we inside or are we outside?
Oh yeah, no, you're inside.
You're inside. Okay. Then,
Yeah, it's not small. They're actually trying to encompass that section of block there. So they've got a couple buildings and parking lot and street, kind of all encased there.
Okay. I'm gonna, if we don't have anything else to do at the moment, I'm just gonna go and try to help them with the creation of the dome strength stuff.
Sure. Not a problem. I'm actually pulling something up right now. Hold on one second.
This is part in the comic where you turn and there's like an ad for like a candy bar or something.
Oh, what was it? The ones that they did comics for? It was
Remember they did Snickers once for like, are you like, you're not you when you're hungry?
They were like fruit pies. I forget what they were.
Oh yeah.
And the one where Hulk legitimately killed people to rolling them up into like an asphalt fruit pie sort of thing.
Yeah, like a hero does.
Exactly. Okay. So for rescuing the people, there we go. Multiple rescues of 5 or more, you get an additional 100 karma.
Okay.
Make sure you add that up there, Dale.
Is that just total, or am I multiplying that because of all of
that would be total for everybody. So
okay.
Additional 100 karma to tack on there.
Gotcha.
Add the stats a little bit. And as everybody is getting inside, Pulsar, you're actually helping at one point hold up some of the beams that they're using to bend and kind of arc over in kind of a dome-like sense. and they're using magnetism to lace cable around it as well. And then what they do is between the outsourcer and Miracle Maiden, they give it a jolt of magnetism, and you see the whole thing is polarized.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't know what that's going to do, but fancy ketchup.
I wonder if it would do something to the beam or something.
So with all of that taken care of, and the others obviously tending to, and anybody else who wants to, tending to the 300 some odd people that they've got here now locally.
I'll go ahead and lend my my first aid.
Okay. So then Dr. Dynamo at this point comes up to Hyperion and says, I appreciate the assist. I don't know why exactly you're here, but I'm not going to look the gift horse in the mouth.
Excellent. I appreciate that because we will need your assistance. We've been actually working in tandem with forces in New Prussia because they're being hit rather hard, but they've been able to weather the storm. And we have orders to actually create tachyonic transceivers and spread that knowledge across the world. That way communications can be reestablished. We're hoping that you can help with this endeavor, at least here. I actually have information on how to generate them.
Okay. So he's looking, he starts looking that over, and he's like, this is genius. This will obviously give us direct lines of communication with anybody else who happens to have one of these sending and receivers. I am going to have to try and make a run to our base, but I think I can actually recreate this here.
Excellent. Do you need any assistance getting to your base? We could actually generate a conduit to it if you're willing to divulge its location.
I appreciate the offer. I would like to keep a little bit of secrecy just in case. But if that changes, I will definitely let you know. But I will be back momentarily to try and collect those things. And he looks to Miracle Maiden at this point, and he says, I need you and Outsourcer in shifts. Make sure you keep this dome polarized. This should be, with the work that we've done, this should be enough to prevent one of those strikes from hitting these people. And so she's like, got it, boss. And so she, steps up, and she's occasionally jolting essentially the cage to keep it essentially magnetized.
Right. Okay.
Should I continue to keep the network together, or should I disband it?
Disband it if we need to, but as long as it's not hampering your other abilities, keep lines of communication open.
Keep it up then.
Maybe at least keep it open with the doctor in case he runs into trouble.
Oh, true. Okay.
Contact us.
Okay. So I'll just tell him, let me know if and when you decide that we should drop the network.
Okay, well, he bounces at this point, and from the distance, obviously you guys can see occasionally strikes are raining down, in the area. People are trying to turn on the TV to get news, and obviously that's not going through,
right,
to any degree. And then Hyperion, you hear some squelching in your ear. Shh. Hey, shh. Break. Shh.
It's happening again. So he's going to try to see if he can tune into whatever signal he's receiving.
Okay. Go ahead.
Am I rolling psyche or something?
Yes.
Else? Okay.
Is he picking up the Mexican station?
I'm on a Mexican radio. And he's like, that was an absolute waste.
Green feet.
Okay, you hear a partially broken transmission, and it sounds like it's collapsing star.
I'm receiving a transmission from collapsing star. And like in his head, he tries to like send a message back like, collapsing star, I read you, over.
And then you hear, hold that thought. And then you hear,
He looks up in the sky.
okay,
There's a dome.
unfortunately, yeah,
It's a bird.
Oh,
It's a bird. It's a plane.
There's a dome.
there's a hole in the
It's a
bucket.
dome.
oh no.
And you don't see anything directly in the sky. Whatever was
Okay.
happening is probably way up there.
Okay.
And then you hear it's a little bit stronger at this point. You hear something coming through, and it's like, count that, splash one, repeat, splash one, and you vaguely hear some laughter, in the background. And he says, Hyperion, this is collapsing star. Can you hear me?
Yes, collapsing star, I read you. What's your location?
Earth.
Fantastic.
I managed to find some help. We managed to drop one of those ships. Evading some fire right now, so it's getting a little hot up here. What's the sit rep down below?
Right now, we're spreading around information to create tachyonic transceivers throughout the world so we can reestablish communications. But much of the populace is being decimated, and the orbital bombardments are hitting massive population centers. A few are being reinforced and able to hold their ground, but as many of those that you can destroy as possible, we would greatly appreciate it.
All right, we'll see what we can do. And then you hear like in the background, like it can't really pick up very well, like outside of the fact that there's somebody else with them. And he says, yeah, they're building science walkie-talkies to talk to everybody on Earth. I'm told it's going to be fine.
It's his Chewbacca.
All you're hearing is.
Excellent. Let us know if you need any assistance or if you have any information for us.
Roger that.
And then over the psionic network, then he says, collapsing star, along with other friends, are in orbit, and they've taken out one of the 20 ships that are bombarding. They're going to try to take out as many as they can.
Oh. Should have called him sooner. Collapsing star is all the fun.
He's here like 2 days early.
True, he managed to make good time. Speaking of which, we should make our way, if we have a moment here, to the Dexamite station so that we can send that message to the Tavaxian Empire. Universe has likely decoded their communications frequencies by now.
Should we all go with you for that, or do you want some of us to stay behind in case something pops off down here?
I should be able to go. Everyone else stay here, especially Lightbringer. That way you can maintain the communication. I'll be back momentarily.
You gonna
Okay,
be all
be
right by
careful.
yourself?
I should be fine. It goes,
All right.
goes ahead and generates the portal to the Dexamite space station to go there.
Okay.
And then once he's there, Universe, have you completed decoding the Tavaxian transmission frequencies?
Affirmative.
Excellent. Can we open a channel? That way we can communicate.
Processing that now. Would you like your status update?
Please.
It says, I am currently being orbited by 4 vessels. They do not.
Oh.
They do not know I am here.
Do you know from where these vessels come from?
They are not Duridian by make. Their IFF would indicate that they are somewhere within the corporate sector.
Interesting. Open a channel to at least one of them to see if we can communicate.
Processing. You hear some squelching as it's kind of going through at this point, and then you end up seeing you end up seeing what appears to be a reptilian-looking face, almost dinosaur-like.
Okay.
The skin colorations are like a tan and white, and they have some feathers that kind of come down the back, which are almost like vibrant, rainbowish in effect.
Okay.
Are they submersible?
Oh,
They could be, you know.
That's a good question.
I didn't catch that. So,
She asked if they were submersible.
oh, submersible raptors, possibly.
I mean, they could if they wanted to, right?
It's slime.
Yeah. Does it look like a raptor type person, or or does it look like a Stegosaurus
T-Rex.
face, or
T-Rex.
T-Rex?
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
So they come on the screen, and it's actually able to translate. It's a known language at this point. So it's like
Excellent.
putting it at the bottom. It's like well, I mean, you hear this is the distant star. Who is hailing us?
Distant star. This is Hyperion of a group known as the Legacy from the Sol system. Is there a reason why you are within the Proxima Centauri system at this time?
I got a
That was
message.
real
right
alien talk.
there. I know.
That was the
Another
response.
transmission.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to silence that real quick. Boop. There we go.
Sound like the probe droid from Empire Strikes Back. That was cool.
Yeah. So the distant star relays back part of a relief effort that a collapsing star has initiated. We're not military vessels.
I see. Excellent. What orders has he given you then thus far regarding the relief?
We're awaiting orders. We have not heard from him in some time at this point. We believe transmissions are being blocked.
Understood. I have the means of transporting back to and from Earth rather rapidly. I can actually relay communications from him to you once I receive them. Will you still be in this area for quite some time?
We will be here momentarily. As we are not combat vessels, if we are discovered, we must retreat.
Understood. We appreciate your assistance, whatever you're able to provide. I'll be back with you once I receive word from Collapsing Star. And he goes ahead and disconnects that communication,
Okay.
and then waits for the Tavaxian communication link to open up.
Sure. So at this point, some sort of comms officer, comes over and says, "Legacy, this is the throne world. We are surprised to hear your transmission."
Yes, we're transmitting from a secret location so that you can receive this. We are currently being attacked by Duridian forces. There were 20, but there are now 19 ships bombarding our planet. It seems that the Tavaxian envoy you had on our world has managed to leave, but it has been damaged and is on its way back to you. You'll want to expect it within the next day or so and expect possible damage and casualties. But in the meantime, can we effect your aid?
We received word from our ambassador. We have ships en route.
Excellent. Do you have an E ETA?
he takes a look at the equipment and he says, trying to translate this in accordance to your solar system, we believe that they should be there within 2 to 3 of your days.
Understood. Excellent. We'll remain in contact if and when we can. Is there any information that you might have that we could use with regards to the Duridians? Were you able to determine anything about their fleet, or are there any other movements of the Duridian Khanate?
They indicate that basically he explains to you that it's a direct assault. They the bulk of their force is actually moving against the Tavaxians. So obviously the bulk of their forces are trying to stave them off. Currently, they still have they still have a direct line to Earth, so reinforcements are possible. But as they allude to, it's similar to what happened before. He's coming at them hard, strong and hard, and looking to completely subjugate them.
Got it. All right. So then he says, if you need to contact us directly, you can actually do so by sending the tachyonic transmissions to Earth at the following frequency. And he provides frequency we've been using.
Affirmative. We'll spread this throughout the Empire.
Excellent. Thank you. We'll be in touch. Closes that down. Then he heads back through the portal, back to everybody else.
Okay.
When he arrives, he closes the portal behind him. He's like, right, there are 4 corporate sector ships actually in the Proxima Centauri sector awaiting orders from Collapsing Star. They're ready for relief effort as long as they're not attacked, since they're not warships. In the meantime, the Devaxians are aware of our plight. They are currently engaged with most of their forces against other Duridian Khanate forces, but they are sending what they can directly to us as well, which could take 2 to 3 days.
Well, that's good news.
What do you think the corporate ships are going to be able to do?
Possibly provide for any type of escape if needed, any type of relocation of individuals, or perhaps providing supplies that are needed.
Could you check with Collapsing Star to make sure that he knows that those, well, just so that way we know that they're definitely on our side. The fact they're from the corporate sector seems a little not sure how to feel about that.
It makes sense that he would have gotten them from there rather than from the Galactic Union, since they are already against entering into a war with Tyrex and his forces. But others aren't so inclined to follow that. He may have simply called in favors with individuals he's met with. Apparently, he's with others in space right now, fighting the orbital bombardment ships. Has anything happened during the several minutes I was gone?
I beat Lightbringer at checkers. She's muted, so she can't say otherwise.
Did we hear back from Dr. D?
Yes, he managed to bring some equipment forward as well as some spare parts, and he's currently working, just started working on trying to build the this transceiver.
I'll go and offer him my assistance.
Okay. And then Hyperion, just as you end up getting back, and of course you see some of this currently going on. You end up getting a transmission again from Collapsing Star. Mm-hmm. Collapsing Star to Legacy, coming in hot. Where's your location?
Amarillo, Texas, and he provides the coordinates.
Okay. He says, is that latitude and longitude?
You got it.
He says, okay, having to convert, I am way too used to interstellar coordinates. Should see you in a minute.
Is it
Excellent.
safe? Is it safe to have him park his Druidian ship destroyer out in front of the dome that protects people? That what if they follow him down here?
It's unlikely that they'd be able to hit him, and I'm sure he wouldn't be trying to draw fire to us. But the dome, so Jerome, the dome like entirely encapsulate us, or does it
Yeah.
like kind of?
Well, no,
okay.
I mean, it's open air.
Okay. Looking up, do we see what might be collapsing star? Like zooming in?
I mean, well, he said only a minute. So, I mean, at one point you hear something is, breaking the sound barrier,
Okay.
followed by another sort of thing. And you eventually see what appears to be something fiery and almost comet-like, as it's coming down.
Oh, I get his name.
Should we get a fire extinguisher? Maybe
And
some
then
air traffic control.
and
You have
then
a- you
nearby
have a
the zone where you're at, he ends up he's actually radiating quite a bit of bleeding, like quite a bit of like radiation off of him.
Right.
And so he lands, his suit's beat up a little bit, and he lands like on top of a mostly still intact building just outside of the out of the zone, and depowers down his axe and starts brushing himself off. And then whatever that fiery comet thing was descends and lands like almost right next to him. And it's what appears to be like, imagine for a second somebody got a hold of one of the engines from a Carillion Corvette from Star Wars, the rebel ship from the first from the very first Star Wars,
right.
put on handlebars and rode it.
Oh, Lobo is here.
looks kind of like that. Only this guy is this big. He is. Where did
He's just riding a nuclear afterburner.
Yeah.
He's got some ape hangers, leather jacket.
He's
with,
a he's a
What's the horsepower on that?
he's a black and purple. The reptilian T-Rex looking guys are Gaxians. So he's black and purple, and he's riding essentially this gigantic engine with handlebars and whatnot. And he was what was burning up in reentry.
Okay.
It's got like chains and extra parts and whatnot that dangle off of it for like no reason whatsoever.
tassels.
He touches it down on the ground with a thud, gets off and starts looking around, and he's just like, so this is Saul, huh?
How big is this guy? Is he like dinosaur size? Is he like?
He's like 8 foot.
Oh, okay. Does he already have like a Texas flag like belt buckle on?
Yes, he converted en route. Yeah.
Let's make it sure, because you kind of described my dad up until the point where you mentioned he was a dinosaur. So
You like put scales on my dad, and this is him.
Your dad is like 8 feet tall and purple.
Sometimes when he gets
When he-
mad.
Well,
yeah,
he's-
when he gets angry.
Yeah,
He-
don't
he's
make it
he's
angry.
black and purple specifically,
Yeah.
but I mean,
When, he,
that's
when
what
he's
it is.
saving the world.
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
of course. My bad.
And so, at this point, Collapsy starts like looking around and he's like, and then he calls out Hyperion. He's like, Hyperion, are you in that Thunderdome looking thing?
We actually are, yes. If you're outside, I can actually bring you in. Be with you in just a moment. Go ahead and just make a portal.
Do you have anything to take care of radiation? I flew through an engine.
Radiation.
Maybe let's talk to him outside.
Well, it might be good. Yes, I agree, Pulsar. It might be good to actually wait outside. We have nothing that can decontaminate you that rapidly. So then he goes ahead
Remember,
and
Lightbringer, they cannot hear a finger.
Lightbringer has radiation control.
Well,
She
did we?
can- Yeah.
Yeah. Did we? Were we privy to that communique?
That was directly to Hyperion, so he'll have to let you know. Hold that thought. I'm getting some drink. 1 minute.
But no, that is a good point.
But can we hear his side of the conversation?
Oh yeah. Are we standing next to him?
Hyperion could sub-vocalize typically.
I know. I'll stand next to Hyperion and relay everything.
Just
So-
stand really close to his mouth.
Yeah. And so like I'm
He's
listening
like-
in, and yeah. And then he'll like back up, and he'll be like, "Lightbringer, we're gonna need you to do radiation therapy on collapsing star."
Radiation
And then-
therapy.
and then he'll go back to listening real quick.
Surely Hyperion has like a LCD screen where all of his thoughts just appear as words on it, right?
Not
He's
quite.
got a mouse and a keyboard.
Didn't include those peripherals.
Oh, okay.
Yes, his chest is the monitor.
Right. I'm like a Teletubby.
Oh no!
You know, that's what I thought of when you first described
Now-
Hyperion.
Now who's 9 feet tall and purple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lightbringer is literally the baby in the sky, the sun baby. It all makes sense.
Right.
So do I need to end this game now?
This is the heavy metal version of the Teletubbies. No,
I'm not sure if there's any recovering from heavy metal.
Yeah,
Teletubbies.
that's why I was asking. We can't go back from
Little
that.
did we realize this is the last episode of Modern Age Heroes.
Our book got
Yep.
canceled.
Tyrax's ultimate victory. He transmutes you all into Teletubbies and just leaves.
Yeah.
Oh.
Doesn't even destroy us.
That makes
Oh
the
yeah, he doesn't
Teletubbies
have to.
look-
You'll destroy the Earth for him.
Yep, exactly.
So at any rate, yeah. So back in character, yeah, he's. I mean, you can tell he's like glowing and radiate, like it's radiating off of him almost like it's steam.
Okay. Then mentally he's going to say, Lightbringer, are you available?
Sure.
Collapsing stars arrived and he's radiating an intense bout of radiation. Would you be able to help calm that for him?
Sure. Let me be right there.
Excellent.
Can I get out of the city?
Get out of the city.
You mean the
Yeah.
dome?
The dome.
The dome.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Just
It's
fly-
not
fly
like
up and
People
out.
can fly. Yeah, you could fly in and out, no problem.
okay.
Are we all
All
invited?
right, so
or-
I'll go up in the air and take a look at what's. Did he tell us where he is? Or would
He's
I-
You
just
probably see him.
Yeah, he's just adjacent to the this dome thing, and you can't miss him. He's the only thing radiating like Christmas lights, in the middle of the day.
He's also standing next to a dinosaur.
Dinosaur?
I'll
Can
say,
we-
well, isn't that pretty? Okay, I'll try some hard radiation control
Okay,
to convert it to something a little less.
give me a
radioactive.
a power rank check for your radiation control.
Do we all get to see the
RM30.
dinosaur? Or-
Yellow.
Nice.
Hey.
Okay, so you've had experience with something like this before. So you just start focusing on deadening the radiation that's coming off of him, anticipating any isotopes that may have permeated his being and his costume. And within about 5 minutes or so, you don't see any of that coming off of him. Why don't you give me a reason check?
Oh, we need the little handheld device.
The Geiger,
Geiger
counter.
counter.
Yeah.
Yellow.
Okay. Based on your abilities and your general knowledge of radiation in question, you're reasonably certain he's not going to get anybody sick.
Okay, I'll say, I think you're clean. Come on in.
So, he flies over, and at this point, the guy he's with is walking along the ground.
Who's your friend?
He says, "Oh, sorry. This is Black Star. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, welcome
Yeah, I
to
speak
Earth.
Terran."
I'm very impressed.
Yeah, so he kind of looks over to Claps and Star, just like, "Was that sarcasm?" And so he's like, "It just."
Are you gonna need a lift into the dome?
He's looking around. He says, "No, I can hop in." He just takes a leap. Comes flying back down.
Do you
Someone else
warn
who
us
can do
so that people?
Yeah.
Yeah, people on the inside, when he drops down, they're like, "Whoa!" Like, what the heck?
Was this the dinosaur?
Yes.
The ground assault
Or
has
was it
begun.
So
Fire!
he looks to everyone. He said, he looks to everyone. He looks up to Collapse. He starts like, "I got this." He looks to all of them. He says, "Ba weep, grana weep, ninny bong."
Oh.
And everyone's all like,
Wait, what did my dad say?
It has been so long since I've seen a Gaxian. Welcome.
and so he takes a moment. He looks and he says, "Oh, hey, you didn't tell me they got any the liquid guys here. You're at Salanth, right?"
Yes.
And then he's like, "Hang on a second. I thought you said this was cordoned off." He's like, "Just give me a second. I haven't had a chance to talk to anybody yet." And so as he's flying by, Lightbringer at this point, he says, "You're going to have to forgive him. His knowledge of our culture, Saturday morning 80s cartoons."
I think this is going to be fun.
Cool. Same.
He says, "There's don't get me started, but there's like a whole bootleg culture out in the free systems."
Oh.
Yeah, so it whatever.
As long as he doesn't start going, "Ah, la, la."
As long as does he pull up his shirt? Does he have a Care Bears like tattoo on his belly?
No, that would be on his arm because he's manly like that.
He doesn't start singing, "I love you, you love me."
Did
Oh,
he?
instead of the heart mom, it's Care Bear.
Anyways, so it's
Hey guys,
his,
this is Black Star.
his outfit looks like some sort of maybe tattered military uniform or whatnot. That has would probably be tactical equipment at some point or another. Essentially, now knowing where he got his knowledge and whatnot, he looks like somebody from G.I. Joe hired a big dinosaur. So he's got that kind of military sort of look, as far as you can tell.
And we
You know,
thought
probably-
the comic took him out. Now we know where the dinosaurs went.
They just went home.
his fanboyness probably makes him look like he fits in here a little bit better.
Yeah,
So-
actually.
It's like a street shark.
I'm gonna go ahead and go back to Dr. Dynamo and see if I can help him.
Okay.
Someone.
So
shake the dinosaur's hand.
So at this point, Collapsing Star touches down, and he says, "I've got bad news. The flagship pulled up."
Uh-oh.
Does that mean that he would be on that ship?
Oh, 100%.
We're not going to receive reinforcements from the Tavaxians for another 2 to 3 days.
And anything they have is not going to be able to fend off that flagship.
Do you have any suggestions?
I'm not the tactician. Yeah, and at that point, Black Star kind of laughs. He's like, yeah, of course not. You flew straight through the ship. And he's like, it worked.
We can do that.
I mean, if it works, it's a tactic.
Well, we are currently...
So, yeah, I mean, he just looks to them since they're laughing. And he's like, can you travel faster than light?
I cannot.
Okay, well, if you can, let me know, because...
He might be able to, and he'll point to Pulsar.
Where on my sheet does it say I can travel faster than light?
Do you have any sort of flight?
I have True Flight.
And what's its rank?
RM30.
Yeah, exactly. Not
So
faster than light.
No, that's 2 times faster than light, right?
Yeah, that's called
Cruising at altitude of 6,000 feet.
NN faster than light. Nowhere near faster than light.
Oh, man. But what if I use my talking to plants?
Oh, they give you sacred knowledge, and then you bump.
So what you're saying is you're hoping the flagship has like a topiary garden that allows you to speak to it, so you can kind of spy and
You know what?
Tyrex the sniffles due to overpollination.
You know what? In some Star Wars lore, like the Empire did have like security trees that would spy on people. So
You know what? Entire civilizations have been wiped out from the common cold.
And M. Night Shyamalan movies. So
well,
So what we need to do, we need to send some like little kid up there with the sniffles. Just sneeze on Tyrax or one of his crew. And then
just get it on the door handle, and that'll be. You're done after that.
this dude's made of rock, though. It's
Well,
gotta be like a rock cold or something.
Yeah.
okay, well, back in game.
Well, then
Should we reconvene with New Prussia?
we'll need to. If they may already be aware due to their listening post on the moon, but, well, Collapsing Star, do you, or Black Star, do either of you have knowledge as to what the capital ship actually possesses? Does it have any specific offensive or defensive weaknesses that we could exploit?
No, Collapsing Star shakes his head. He says, I've only seen it. I've never actually dealt with it. But the official reports that I've read says it's a planet killer.
oh boy.
I see. Does it literally have the ability to destroy planets with a weapon?
Yes, it does.
We'll need to find a way to deal with it. Yes, I agree. Communicating with New Prussia will be needed.
Have
Speaking
to
of
get ready for the ground assault too.
Speaking of which, Collapsing Star made contact with the Distant Star as part of your relief effort you have in Proxima Centauri. Did you have anything that you wanted them to accomplish at this time? I could relay a message to them.
At this point, no. We don't exactly know what's going to happen, but they have parts and supplies that they are able to leverage. And they happen to be some of the best smugglers that I know. I know because I've captured them several times.
I see.
So I'm looking the other way for some of their discretions for assistance. And this particular smuggling guild has lent 4 ships.
Do you know what type of supplies they actually possess? Anything that we could use right now for defense?
I don't offhand. I do know that they've brought some food replicators. Obviously for extended holdout. There are some small shield generators, which I think might be of assistance, but beyond that, I don't know what exactly that they've brought. I'd have to be in direct communication with them to find out.
Understood. One moment. Let me see what Lightbringer is up to, if she has finished her work with Dr. Dynamo. And mentally, he's like, Lightbringer, what's your status?
How are we, Jerome?
Between the two of you, you've put it together.
So is the idea that we have this one, but we now need to make a whole bunch more?
Correct. And or get it to other people who can replicate it.
Do I think that New Prussia is going to be the best way to fabricate them?
I mean, they can. The problem you're looking that of from New Prussia is they're dealing with all the refugees, and they're dealing with some direct assaults. So what manufacturing processes that they have there in their own country are going to be bottlenecked into trying to keep craft flying, weapons repaired, and of the like.
Okay, so they're at full capacity. What about shoot?
I thought
I
our
was like,
idea
if
was
only I was like, if only we knew like a super rich person that had like factories and stuff.
I pointed Hyperion, but no, I thought the idea was that we were making something that we could like get the plans to other developed places, and that they could just build their own.
Mm-hmm.
So that way we could all plug in, like essentially they would build all theirs remotely rather than us have to like deliver them. I thought that was the plan.
Are they people that we trust with the technology?
Well, I think we chose like the United States government and like other places that were like working with the other places we wanted to unite in the battle against Tyrax. I think that was the plan. Maybe I'm wrong. Where's my notes?
Okay, so I'll go ahead and say the prototype's done. How do we want to disperse it?
Have you been able to test it yet? Sending a signal to perhaps New Prussia, since they have one there as well.
Yeah, you've been able to test it.
Okay. Yeah, it works.
Excellent.
Good job.
Thank you. That means that then we can pass those plans on to other nations capable of building it. We also have possible access to other materials if we're willing to still use conduits to actually bring those materials from Proxima Centauri directly here without the ships themselves actually endangering themselves coming here. It would also speed up time.
Yeah, I wish we had Shone here to help share that load.
Should we check in on Shone? That might be a good idea to...
And Dr. Rostenkowski also.
Can you use the transceiver to communicate with New Prussia right now to see about their status?
I will go ahead and tune into New Prussia and say, how are things going?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, exactly. What's up? The world is ending around you, and you pull a Bud Light commercial.
You're right.
Yeah. It was the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's right.
So you get through, and they say the comms officer indicates that they let you know everything is 5x5. Orbital strikes have stopped, so they're inspecting the invasion at any time.
Yeah, I'll say the flagship has arrived. Doubtless Tyrax is on board. They're calling it the Planet Killer.
Understood. We'll pass that word to President Albrecht.
I don't suppose you could get a status on my teammate Shown.
One moment. And then the
And then it plays some Kenny G.
You're right. Even during the end of the world.
Criminies.
He's really got those royalties on tap.
Oh, you got to pull out every little ounce that he can. World's ending.
It'll be playing the final countdown.
I think that'd be worse to make an emergency call while you're like, hey, check up on my sister. Okay, hold on, hold.
I don't like this song anymore.
And then comms officer comes back over. He says, she is no longer comatose. She is now coming out and about. Beyond that, you'll have to speak to the doctors.
Thank you. We'll be in touch. So I'll relay that to Hyperion.
Excellent. Well done. All right, rejoin the team. We'll communicate here with Collapsing Star and Black Star, and then make our way back to New Prussia to join up with Shown. And then he turns to Collapsing Star and Black Star and says, right, well, we need to continue to see about getting plans for the tachyonic transceivers around the world, unless that's something that you'd be able to do. I know that it might seem minimal compared to preparing for an invasion, but the more communication the world's forces have with each other, the more united our defense can be.
Understood. So you want me to run the plans to other agencies?
If at all possible, we can provide them to you, and as long as you get them to the right locations, they should be able to at least begin working on creating these things. If they don't have the materials, we might be able to use our conduit system to pull materials from the distant star and the other relief vessels directly to Earth.
Sure. I can I could probably get that ball rolling.
Excellent.
If you could just provide me a list of the individuals you need this to go to, I'll figure it out from there.
So he goes ahead and gives them information for
Do we think the UN?
Yeah, the UN. Yeah, actually, are they the Protectors? That's the name of the UN group. So goes ahead and gives it to the Protectors. They're the UN superhero team located in blah blah blah. They might actually be able to help disperse this throughout the other nations of the world.
We should probably give it to the US also directly. They probably wouldn't want to get it secondhand.
True.
Yeah, but, probably to our senator liaison person.
So goes ahead and provides them with Senator Barrett's information. He had that one location. He said he'd be willing to, like his ranch or something.
Oh, is he going to be okay with us sending aliens? No offense to that, or maybe that's when we should appear in person.
I don't think we have the time. I think he'll understand. As long as somebody's arriving and offering help, he'll know that they're on our side. Especially if they explain that they're coming from the Legacy. So then he goes ahead and gathers the plans for the transceiver and passes that on to Collapsing Star.
Okay. So I'll start getting this spread around as quickly as possible. And yeah, hopefully we can get some of this put together before too much more damage rains down.
Precisely. Right. Excellent. Thank you both for your efforts. Hopefully this will work. You can communicate back with me using the frequency you used before whenever you need.
Okay, roger that. And he tells, Black Star the same thing. It's like, yeah, already putting that in my comms. I got it.
Excellent. Team, are we ready to head out?
Let's go.
Yep.
Generates a portal to
Okay.
New Prussia. Whoop.
Okay. So
I have a question. So I had my throat slit, right?
I
Yeah,
thought
your
it was like a
trachea
puncture.
pierced through your
Okay.
chest.
Yes.
So is the scar? Is she gonna have a permanent scar?
yeah, she's gonna have a scar. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We
And
can take care of that.
And is she going to have problems speaking at first?
It might hurt, but no.
Okay.
Right now, what they've done is they've modified part of your costume to make sure that specific area is covered and protected, kind of like a high-tech bandage.
Is she gonna talk like what's her name at the pawn
Like
shop?
Sharon. Yeah.
Sharon.
Oh no.
Hey, brothers and sisters.
This is why you don't smoke.
As some people say, that smoking's not addictive.
It's time to save the world.
Carlos, I know I'm way off track at this point. Carlos Mencia had a joke where he was talking about how he was telling a joke and picking on a bunch of people, and there was a guy with a voice box in the back, and every time he would laugh, it would go, "Oh, wingy, 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 wingy." That is how he sounded. Anyways, so you transport back. You are actually out in the courtyard. You're not in the base proper,
right?
Because they wouldn't allow that sort of thing.
Yeah,
that would be bad.
Do we see the ship? Are we like out where the ship was?
No. The ship at this point has been pulled into essentially a dry dock, and they're trying to repair it. But at this point, Sagan comes out to meet you and bring you back into the base, into the medical facility specifically to meet with Sean. Walks you through the property, back to the security checks, and brings you back into the room essentially. Pardon me. That they have Sean set up in. She's actually already out of the tank at this point, and finishing cleaning up and drying her hair.
Lightbringer's gonna go up and hug her.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Oh man,
Sean, you're better.
it's so good to see you.
I thought you were gonna,
That was really scary.
Yeah.
Let's not do that again, okay?
Okay.
So, Tyrex is here. I don't know if you heard.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. You ready to go save the world?
Always.
And fist bump.
You
Excellent.
will have the opportunity to enact some vengeance. It seems like Senia has teamed up with Tyrax.
Good. I'm ready to kick some butt.
We open up the second can in Senia.
Hey, Shelly, can you manually mute using the chat program, not your headset? Because every time you do it, we're hearing a click.
Doesn't bother me.
It's good to have you back, Shone. Sorry that happened to you, but glad we were able to get you here, to get you the help you needed.
Thank you.
Well, now that we're all together, we should see if we can communicate again with President Albrecht and let him know our status. Lightbringer, do you think you'd have the most direct means of contacting him?
Sure. I'll go ahead and try and connect with him telepathically. Should I roll?
Yeah, go ahead.
Grampy.
White!
He is too busy to take your call. Not now, Sugar Plum.
Remember this.
The grandfather you are calling is taking a nap.
Dang it. Not now, Gramps.
I'm gonna turn to Sagan and say, is Jurgen available to get an update from us?
I think he will be. He's still currently with our general right now, but if you give me a moment, I'll go check.
Thanks. See, I can still get the job done.
Okay.
Red Arsenal's going to turn to Hyperion. Do you want to check on Mom?
Yes, I do need to. And he turns and starts heading to where she would be at.
So they currently, at this point, are she is still under. They have her sedated at this point, and what they what the doctors are telling you at this point is that the whatever they gave her was highly advanced, and it actually scares them on two levels. What was given is actually a biological weapon, meaning if they decided to drop this someplace on Earth, they could wipe out a large population within a matter of hours. So that's scary in and of itself. They don't know if it's been mass produced or whatnot, but what they also have determined is this particular bioweapon that they're dealing with is advanced enough that it can defend itself. Meaning, if they don't have the right or strongest treatment right away, it's able to fend it off and continue progressing.
Have they made any headway as far as like how to actually defeat it, or has that been the issue? That
Not as of yet, because of the war and all the efforts made. That is going elsewhere. All the great minds that they've got are they're defending home, so that's their focus. So the doctors they've got here are doing their best with what they have, which is still quite a bit. But even they were baffled at what they found when they got her under the scope.
Can they keep her on ice enough to prevent it from killing her?
They can. It's definitely slowing the progress quite a bit.
Xenofreeze and Lightbringer, do you think you'd both be able to work together with the doctors here while we have a moment to see if there's anything either of you can think of to combat this bioweapon?
Suppose we might as well put our heads together while we're waiting.
I am willing to do whatever is necessary that I am capable of.
Excellent. We may need to know how to actually fight this if they actually do mass produce this weapon and begin using that. Do what you can.
Okay. I'll ask the doctors for their research.
So yeah, I mean, they'll provide you. You've got security clearance for it, so they'll provide you with whatever it is that you're wanting. So they've basically right now it's all the notes right now are what treatment wise the things that they've tried, and the fact that what I've already reiterated, what they've discovered about the this bioweapon.
Okay. Should I big brain it?
Yes, please.
Definitely.
Can I get another column shift for working with a biologist?
No, because you're way too far out of his scope. You have to be within one column shift. And if you big brain it, you are nowhere near him.
Okay.
Yeah, you're so far beneath me.
Yellow.
Nice.
Yeah, imagine that. Okay, well, so she goes into a trance-like state as she's looking it over.
Gosh, class 3000.
The very atoms of the cosmos are coming together in formulaic, equations all around her head as
she looks like that meme.
It's the meme, yeah, without the equations.
Yep, literally. So yes, you have come up with what appears to be a way to completely eradicate it.
And the doctors are standing behind me just going,
No, of course not.
No, they're waiting for your paper to come out first.
They already know about you. Remember, you cured Ebola here.
Oh, right.
Every time she says
they already know you.
Every time she says she wants to use her big brain, that cartoon of the brain,
Pinky and the
guy
Brain.
with no, not Pinky and the Brain. It's the character that has the big head.
Jimmy Neutron.
Oh, we got a tune of time, like
right.
Yeah, I just, in my mind, I see her head kind of swelling to fit that big brain of hers.
Is it Jimmy Neutron you're thinking of?
Or is the bad guy from that terrible Green Lantern movie? What was his name?
Yes, that one.
Okay.
I just see Ixion. Oh, we got a tune of time, Lightbringer. We are going to save the world.
Right, Brain, where do we find rubber pants our size?
That's about the way I feel in comparison.
Okay, so I'll step back and turn to Ixion and say, what do you think? You think that would work?
Roll your reason. And you can add a column shift to biology.
Right, I can. Reason, harm 30, so I go, what is that?
It'll be IN.
Yeah. Yellow.
Okay.
Yes, from what I can tell, it is still a little bit above me, but this looks like a solid cure. Not just a control.
We might I'll turn to the scientists and say,
I
you
would
might
I would even venture to say that
try
the
to-
antibodies that your body would create would prevent you from contracting it a second time.
you might look at delivering this on a mass scale in case it's necessary.
Could we bio-weaponize this ourselves? Perhaps in a gaseous or somewhat of a similar to a nuclear fallout. Have a bomb detonate above the ground, but with just essentially rain.
Can this cure be distributed through the air, or does it need to be injected or ingested?
This right now it will need to be injected. You'll have to do additional work if you're going to put it to an aerosol.
For
Yeah,
now, I
should I
think if we have the
roll it in?
plans, once we actually get the communication network for the tachyonic transmitters established throughout the world, providing that information directly to them so that it can be mass produced everywhere at the
Oh,
same
that's a good
time.
idea. That's a great idea. I guess if we do that, I can't really put that on my credentials, huh?
It makes me wonder,
That's okay.
how will this interact with those of us who are not of this world?
You may want to do research on that now to see if that's going to affect other genomes in a completely different way. Do we know if this bioweapon can actually affect non-humans in the same way?
Jerome, what would my
Collective research?
research? What would my research indicate?
Well, you didn't research it along those lines. So if you're going to try and big brain this answer, you're down one column shift, obviously, from that. So
Okay, that
a
would
whole
be a
class 1,000.
A 1K.
Just a measly 1K.
I know.
I wonder if we would be super susceptible to it because we have.
Yellow.
Ooh.
Yeah, no. It's biologically engineered to affect humans, so it wouldn't do anything to non-humans.
Oh.
Okay. Well, the good news is it's human centric.
It makes the job easier, especially for humans here. Excellent.
It
Well,
also makes it much easier for those of us who are non-human to infiltrate an infested area without risk of contraction.
correct. Want to keep that in mind. But if New Prussia can start to mass produce this for its citizens just in case of a biological attack, that would be preferred.
Do they have a whiteboard that I can? Wait, this is probably bigger than a whiteboard, huh?
So you mean a personal tablet device?
Sure. Yeah. Could I get a copy of it on a tablet?
100%.
Okay, and then I'll stow that in my quantum pocket
Okay.
so that we can share it on the
Sure.
earliest convenience.
And if possible, test that on Dr. Rostenkowski. The sooner we can get her awake and safe, the sooner we can elicit her help.
Oh, that's
Cool.
true.
Oh, had you guys not given it to her yet?
I guess not.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I gotta change my notes.
Yeah, can we try it now while we're still waiting for President Jurgen?
They'll have to manufacture it, but yes.
Okay.
So give them about an hour.
Okay. Snacks, anyone? Coffee? It's gonna be a
Coffee
long
sounds
day.
good. Coffee sounds good.
What kind of snacks do they have in New Prussia?
The normal kind.
M&Ms. Does
Yeah.
their M&M machine have the same flaw that you showed me at the?
No, they shored that up.
They have sugar cookies in the shape of Lightbringer.
I don't know how I feel about eating Lightbringer's face in a sugar cookie. I'll stick with the M&Ms. And I'll pose with the M&M's logo facing outwards as I eat them.
Okay, so I'll lead them to the cafeteria while we're waiting.
Okay. So you lead them to the cafeteria to go get something to eat?
Hyperion looks for tacos.
In the vending machine. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Did we have a bunch of food in your quantum pockets that probably spilled out onto the floor of the Senian laboratory?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There's like a bunch of KFC and like pizza on the floor.
Oh no!
It's like, oh no, a frat party invaded our building.
You know, there's
They
probably like
also-
24 boxes of Krispy Kremes.
I just keep worrying about my cell phone with Sledgehammer's phone number in it.
Oh.
Can't you like remotely brick it?
I don't know.
You guys
Is that
are
a
super
thing that-
smart. You don't.
Hopefully, you
can't,
had a
like-
really complicated password on that thing.
Yeah.
It's just 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Pass.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did we?
It's amazing. It's the same combination as my luggage.
It's password spelled out in the numerics on the telephone. It's like 333 1 2 2.
We are the best superheroes.
So, Sagan comes and finds you at this point, Lightbringer, and she tells you that President Albrecht is available.
Okay. I think we're ready.
Yep. All right. Yes, we'll follow her to him.
Okay. So you end up meeting with him again in his office. Obviously not any other place. It's just easier and safer to meet in his office. So they walk you back through the presidential suite, or I should say presidential building, into his office. He's got some bags under his eyes. He clearly hasn't rested.
I'll hand him a coffee.
So he takes that and he says, so you were wanting to see me? What sort of updates do we have?
We have been able to successfully have plans for the tachyonic transceiver moved to Amarillo, Texas. Dr. Dynamo and Lightbringer were able to create a prototype. And we have a friend of ours, Collapsing Star, traveling to different world locations to provide this information to other areas on the ground, the United Nations, the United States, and so forth. Any place that'd be capable of actually creating these devices. It is possible for us to use our conduit network to pull other resources, if need be, from other alien helpers that are near the base we have at Proxima Centauri. And, unfortunately, the capital ship, the main flagship of the Deridian Khanate, has arrived. Likely Tyrax is on it. And it's said that that ship has a planet-killing weapon aboard.
So, I mean, at that point, he nods and he pulls up a screen on his desk, essentially, like a computer. And he says, our moon base got a visual of that craft. This obviously isn't the craft, but it's for size.
Does it look like
Oh, wow. Oh, no.
He says, so when they say it's a planet killer, I completely understand why.
Okay.
It's the size of a small continent.
Hmm.
He says, so we did receive word, I'll bet directly, from interested parties in the United States. They're under the impression that this is going to, this initial wave is going to take place in Manhattan.
Why?
Because that was the site of his defeat.
And then
Oh.
Hyperion turns to Lightbringer and says, "Your initial vision, was that not where Tyrex was going to arrive, in New York?"
Oh. You're right. It did look a lot like New York. Dang it. Okay.
So when he comes down, we're expecting it to be there. We obviously don't have anything at this point that can reach there safely without it looking like some sort of an invasion, because obviously the United States is not on board with us like we would hope they would be. We're hoping the rest of the superpowered beings around the world are finding some way to rally. At this point, it looks like it's going to be up to, or I should say, ground zero is going to be the United States.
But if he's going to come down for a showdown, that means he's not going to use the weapon. At least not right away.
That's the hope. If that's what our general we're operating off of that is believing, then that means that a small team may be able to get on board this planet killer and find a way to knock it out.
Maybe that computer virus?
Yes.
What computer virus?
We fought and eventually defeated, in a manner of speaking, a supervillain named Dr. October in the United States.
I'm familiar with the Doctor.
He possessed a Trojan computer program that was extraordinarily good at actually hijacking virtually any type of advanced computer system and either disabling it or simply taking remote control of it.
Interesting. And you think that would work on their systems?
I think that given just a little bit of time, I could reprogram it using Dexamite coding language, since the ship is likely using Dexamite technological infrastructure, especially for their computer systems. And then, if we can get on board, I may even be able to connect directly to it and input the Trojan.
So then it would be up to the ground forces to keep him occupied and unaware. I'm wondering if there's some way we can attempt to sever their communications in the same way they've done to us. Total blackout, long enough to get this team on board and do what needs to be done.
We don't have any way to jam any communications from the Earth.
Not as of this point, no. Their technology is well beyond ours.
Is there? Do we know how their communication works? Is it similar to the Dexamite method of communication?
They would be using at least tachyonic transmissions, likely.
Correct.
Could we use the universe to jam their? Because if the universe can send transmissions, maybe it can also jam theirs.
It was based on communications initially. It could send noise directly pointed at that particular ship when we need it to.
Why don't you give me a reason check, Hyperion?
Okay. White feet. You know what? I'm gonna re-roll that. Because why not?
Okay.
Karma. Spend it.
Good point.
You got 100 for saving for 7 kids.
That's true. If we spend 25, that'll get me a green. That okay, everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Brittany gave you a reroll?
Sweet. And that got me exactly 100 red feet.
Wow. Okay.
Oh.
So you would have to do this in stages. Obviously, if the other problem you're going to be facing is universe will be exposed.
Okay.
It'll be impossible to hide. It could go back into hiding, but during this broadcast, essentially it's going to be impossible to hide.
Okay.
If you build a transceiver of some kind large enough on planet Earth, essentially, and you find someone or something that can amplify that, it would essentially, well, I would block all communications completely in this sector.
Including ours?
Yes.
Okay.
So nobody would be able to talk to anybody.
Okay. So then he'd be like, if we actually do use universe and the station, that would give away its location. Even if it's cloaked, it would then just be a few hours before they would send ships and likely take it over or destroy it. But if we were to simply create a large enough transceiver with a large enough, powerful enough power supply and amplify it properly, activating that would create a distortion field tachyonically that would encompass Earth and outer space near Earth, but that would block all tachyonic communications, theirs and ours.
Except Signet.
True. Synot would be unaffected.
What about Helios?
Using Helios to transmit?
I mean, we ought to upgrade Helios with the tachyon transponder anyway. But
Do we have
do you
time?
think that might help?
If we could use resources here to build the device, we could then portal it over to the vein, attach it to our communication system, and Helios could then process the distortion field, likely. We would need to make sure that we'd have enough power for it as well. And I'm not sure that the vein would have enough to do that.
He says if that's the case, you're going to need to build this transceiver someplace that's not around citizens. I can't put my people at that kind of risk. They would, once they manage to pinpoint the source, they would bomb this sector of our planet relentlessly. Our shields would not be able to hold that.
I think let's just use universe for it. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to keep it, but if we can,
well, you're going to have to tie universe to the transceiver. You can't do one or the other.
Can't we use the old Dexamite base?
The one in Utah?
Yeah. I know the nuclear power is waning, but
that would be a drain on it, but that could be enough if we have access to it and can modify it accordingly.
You're going to have to get the United States on board with that. You're basically asking them to sacrifice a high-tech facility that they're no doubt attempting to leverage to catch up to us.
Of course. We'll need to get in contact with Senator Barrett and Ms. McCall to help us with that rapid negotiation.
What about ground forces? I was thinking maybe we could try and get the word out at Jimmy's bar, get the other heroes apprised of what's at stake.
That's a possibility, but I don't know if any of them are going to even be there.
Who's going to be at the bar during this calamity?
Right. If any of them are worth their salt, they're probably not going to be there, and they probably haven't thought of that. That would be a great place to coordinate privately, but after some sort of communication had been reached, more than likely. Everybody else is probably doing what they can locally, respectively.
Yeah. I should have thought to put flyers up before this happened.
Yeah, he's like, that wouldn't have done any good, and you know it. They would have just treated you like a crackpot.
Well, everyone's a crackpot until the sky's falling.
Literally.
So we can try to make contact then with the United States government and see if they'll grant us access to the Dexamite base to use it for that ploy. If they refuse, we'll simply create the device, move it to a distant location, and then connect to it from Universe. That may at least give Universe and our base a means of protecting itself from being exposed.
He says it sounds like an idea. Far be it from me to suggest this because it's underhanded, but in a pinch, we may be able to leverage the Russian government.
In what way specifically?
They currently have a facility that's mostly out of action that would likely have the power to do this.
Would that be the facility that we escaped from, or a different
Precisely.
one? That may be our best bet then. That would be the fastest way.
Didn't they get really bombarded by the Dexamites?
I was going to ask that.
By the Duridians?
Oh my god. By the Duridians, I'm sorry. Too much coffee.
He says they have, but that is a remote facility.
Yeah, the prison site where you guys were captured.
It's a black site, much like the United States one. I don't think that the Duridians would have known to go there. They're orbiting what they can see from they're targeting what they can see from orbit. Large population centers. That is not a large population center. Neither was the black site you found in the United States.
Is that gonna cause more problems with Russia in the future to do it that way?
Well, they might want to get revenge.
Russia was already in league with Sinia, which was already in league with the Duridians. I think we're past a point of no return when it comes to diplomacy with that regard. We shouldn't worry about them not liking what we're doing. We're trying to save Earth.
I didn't know Russia and the Sinians were in the same boat. I thought they were different.
Was any part of Russia?
Sorry, go ahead.
Was Russia bombarded by the assault?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, well, then they
I was
couldn't
going
have
to say that. Then maybe they.
It
weren't.
seems that they were not directly involved with the Duridians.
Well, they were.
Or
They
they've been
were.
double crossed.
Well, they were working with the Umbari.
The Ubari.
Ubari. That's why.
That could be.
I speculate. I should probably put that.
The bioweapon that we just encountered may have come from the Ubari. That's what they were actually dealing with. And if that's the case, that means that at least the Ubari who went to Russia are in league with Senia.
That seems
Perhaps,
like a leap, but
perhaps unknowingly.
Interesting. Well, be that as it may, that is
So,
definitely a possibility. Creating the tachyonic transceiver and then taking it to that base and connecting it to their comms, using it and its energy generation.
He says the only other option I could think of that would possibly give us the energy that would be needed and would be away from population centers, or at least far enough. Chernobyl. We have connections there, and we have been assisting them with their cleanup.
Would that be far enough away from other population centers, do you believe, if it were to be attacked?
So he pulls up a map real quick to take a look. Let's take a look.
I would assume that the nuclear fallout from the power plant created a residential vacuum that may create a
He says,
conflict in the midst of
based
society.
upon the radius around it, there are no population centers that, based upon their orbital strikes, would be in danger of hitting it. It looks like mostly wildlife and perhaps stragglers who still live there.
Then if its power production capabilities are up to snuff, and we have the most direct access to that site, that may be our best bet. Otherwise, other sites we would have to negotiate for or directly attack and take over.
Then keep this between us for the time being, for this particular piece of the retaliation or defense of planet Earth. We don't want this getting out, because we don't know who they might have that could potentially leak this information to Tyrex and his people.
Understood. Do you know of any individuals or teams that are at Chernobyl currently, or is it evacuated at this point?
I believe it's been evacuated. It's mostly been the Ukrainians who have been dealing with that. We've been lending our technical assistance as needed. Diplomatically speaking, I don't think that's going to be an issue trying to get access to it for this particular plan. It's just a matter of keeping it quiet while it's being set up.
Of course. Then while that's happening, I can work on recreating a large enough TAC trans that should then be able to connect to the nuclear power supply and activate. Would I have access to New Prussia's production facilities?
Of course.
Thank you, President. In the meantime, while that's being generated, the rest of you get as much rest as you can. It shouldn't take me long to actually create a large enough scaled version of the device. At that point, we'll need to travel there directly, likely through portal. We'll then be dealing with the radiation there. Hopefully, Lightbringer will be able to shield us from that. We'll need to make sure that we avoid any other ground forces that try to intercept us, while we then try to attach the TAC trans to the power supply to make sure that it can then be activated. If only we knew how much time we had before the ground invasion would actually occur.
Is Chernobyl really the best option?
I would say yes, because the U.S. government is going to take time. The Russian government is going to take time. If we try to infiltrate the black site prison, Russian prison, that's going to take time.
Yeah, but why don't we use the space station that's in Alpha Centauri but further away? Even if they have to go and blow it up, that's going to take them further to get there. They're going to have to leave. They're going to have to leave Earth in order to go and do that. But also, I don't like the idea of us kind of sacrificing some other people's land and territory over a grudge match against us.
This is not just a grudge match. This is an attempt to destroy humanity and Earth itself.
So wouldn't it be better to direct the attack away from Earth?
The attack would still happen here. It would only take perhaps one ship from their fleet to make its way to our base and then attack it. The base itself doesn't really have any defensive or offensive capabilities other than its cloak. And as long as it's being tracked, it could then be shot at, found, and then hit repeatedly until it's destroyed.
I mean, I'm fine with that if it means that it protects Earth for a little bit. I mean, what do we have on that we need to protect so much?
If they actually go there and decide to damage it so that it stops, they would then have access to a Dexamite fortress. They don't necessarily have to destroy the entire base. We could do this. We could use it as a sacrifice. But at the same time, it would take additional time away from what we'd be doing now.
I mean, it kind of sounds like you have to build this thing no matter what. Like, where we put it is gonna... I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me is all.
Team, what do you think? Should we simply use Universe and the base? Once it activates, it would take approximately 2 to 3 hours for one of their ships to then reach the base, find it, and begin attacking it. That may be enough time for us, but it's unclear.
It may create an opportunity for us to take out one of their ships, or to have someone who is capable of doing such.
Also, it would minimize loss here on Earth.
I wonder if we could program Universe to self-destruct if it looked like it was about to come into Deridian hands.
Possible. We would need to make sure that the relief vessels that are orbiting that area would leave the area. That way they wouldn't be attacked should the base be attacked.
I hate to lose the base. It is our only link to our heritage.
What about us? Our heritage is not... It's not going to be a location. It's not a household home. It's us.
True. Right. Sounds like
They
we're in
wouldn't
agreement.
see it coming.
That would be the fastest way. We would simply need to realign its transceivers when we need them to be aligned. That would also free up Earth from having a communications blackout. It would get to retain its tachyonic transceiver capabilities.
Hyperion,
Yes.
would it be possible to transfer Universe to the vein?
Please?
The size that he himself is with his programming might not be enough for our database to actually handle. And I would need to create a tachyonic transceiver and attach it to the base for it to even receive that transmission for a download and transfer of information.
We ought to do that anyway.
We have information on that base.
Much of the information that's there is corrupted and irretrievable. Much of it that we needed, we've already collected.
Okay. Then use the base.
It sounds like we're in agreement then. When we're ready for the plan to enact, we'll then use the base and focus its tachyonic transceiver arrays at a blast directly at the planet killer ship when we're ready to actually infiltrate it and attempt to take it over with the modified virus. That will give approximately 2 to 3 hours of time, assuming they're able to track that disruption through space back to Proxima Centauri. In the meantime, we'll have the relief vessels there leave that area just in case we're not able to accomplish it in time. Well, any questions or comments? Any other ideas?
Let's mess them up.
Let's mess them up.
How are you going to teleport onto the ship?
Use air shown.
We would need to determine if they currently have an anti-teleportation field erected around their ship. If they don't, you actually might be able to reach it. You could theoretically go all the way to the moon, and they are not farther than that. And then he looks... Oh, go ahead.
Jurgen, could your people help us triangulate that?
We could try and get that figured out through transmissions from the moon base. I would urge you to reconsider your sacrifice of this, of whatever it is this base is. But if you feel that that is the best way of doing this, I won't stand in your way. I will say whatever plans this operation is going to take, or this whatever plans this operation looks to undertake, we are going to need to wait until Tyrax makes landfall.
Right.
We don't want him. We don't want him in the ship when the team is attempting to subvert it. With the communications blackout, that also puts him in a situation where he can't communicate with his forces, and it gives us the best opportunity to put him down on planet Earth.
And when he does that, we need to throw the kitchen sink at him to distract him.
Correct.
Do the Americans know that the Duridians are rock people?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
If they take their knowledge of Tyrax and apply it across the board.
Okay. That's right. He was here once before.
Correct.
Okay. So they would have. Okay. Well, that's good. That means New York is.
They'll be as ready as they can be.
Yeah, they'll be as ready as they can be.
Are we planning to be the ones who are team virus?
That was my assumption.
The most likely means of success, the highest probability, would be that I am able to transmit the virus into the ship. But I will likely need to be on the ship for that to even be possible.
Would there be a possibility with my nanotechnology for us to... I could effectively donate a piece of myself with the nanites within. If we were to infect the nanites with a pre-program to infest, we could effectively just drop off that piece of me and the nanites would find their way in and be virtually undetectable.
You wouldn't even need to sacrifice yourself or a piece of yourself, since we were able to generate the nanites here in New Prussia, as long as we're all working together to program them accordingly. We can attack it in both of those ways, through nanites and the computer virus simultaneously.
I believe that would the nanotech not be able to carry the computer virus?
It would. Likely. All it would need to do is actually move through the system. It may take some retooling of the nanites themselves, but if you're able to work on that here, I can work on recreating the new virus using Dexamite programming language at the Vane with the help of Helios.
Shit. Should I be in New York then? They're going to need as many heavy hitters as possible, and I'm no scientist.
When it comes to the actual attack, I'd hate for the team to be separate. It would be beneficial if we were all together at the same time.
I'm
But-
going to want a piece of that too.
It might work because when he arrives in New York, he's going to want to see
Electrum.
Electrum or the children of Electrum there.
True.
I don't disagree that we're probably the ones who will have the easiest time of getting it up there, but I mean, he's going to have his eyes on us, right?
So, what if we create the virus? We go to New York, and one of New Prussia's agents takes the virus up. That way, we're not divided.
Well, I was thinking, what if we had kind of like I don't know, a probe or something that collapsing star could just stick onto the planet killer, disperse the nanites and the virus.
Can he do that without being detected?
I think he could be detected, but maybe they can't catch him.
Yeah, he's probably too fast and the probe is too small.
Do we want to risk that?
Hmm.
Also,
Yes.
he is currently on a mission to actually move the Tachyonic transceiver information across the globe. We don't know how long that will take him to accomplish.
No matter which way we look at this, there's going to be some risk.
Trying to travel directly to it means we would be subject to energy weapons fire from 19 ships along with that capital ship. That would mean whatever flies there is likely to be destroyed before it can reach it. Therefore, teleporting there directly, if possible, would be the best way to actually board it.
So, why don't we do this then? Hyperion and myself go to the ship. The rest of you go to New York, and we will meet you there as soon as we can.
I'm not going to be any help to you guys in a stealth mission or uploading things into a computer, but I'm ready to rearrange Tyrex's face.
How does that
I
sound to
mean-
the rest of you?
The only other person I would think to take would be Lightbringer, because she can cloak us. She can cloak us as we move around the ship.
I would be willing to do that.
So 3 of us go to the ship. The other go to New York.
Once the planet killer has been dealt with, we'll then arrive at New York and rendezvous with you to join in the fight on Earth.
Yes.
We'll try to leave you some of his butt to kick, but I make no promises.
So so at that point, President Albrecht says, I'm going to provide this to our general. Obviously, we can come up with a plan, but we don't know what the other superpowers of planet Earth are going to come up with. So this may be something that only we have access to, and we have to hope that the United States can put up some sort of defense against his entry, which I would imagine they will, but Tyrax touching down is going to be an incredible threat. And I don't know if the Justice Legion or any of the other teams that are in the United States are going to be able to accommodate that. But we should probably attempt to get your other friends on board as soon as possible.
Understood. Then we'll need to wait for Tyrex to actually attempt to touch down before initiating the Blackout plan and the Planet Killer plan. Before then, I'll be working on creating that virus. And here, Ixion, if you're able to work on the nanite portion of the virus.
Yes.
They're gonna land on ships, right? Oh no, wait, they're not gonna be in communication with the capital ship. Never mind, disregard.
Okay, and that is where we're going to stop for the night. We're at almost about 3 hours in, so you guys want to be thinking about next game then? What your master plans are going to be. So before we wrap things up real quick, we've got RP votes we need to get to. Starting off with Davey.
Wow.
Davey over there pulling the Captain Global from Robotech.
Yeah, it's tough because everybody was so cool tonight. I enjoyed Sean's raspy voice. I appreciated George's not using Chernobyl as a staging ground.
Yeah.
You know, Brittany with Big Brain, Hyperion with leadership, and Ixion with nanites. I'm gonna go with George.
Alrighty, so George, Brittany.
Also George.
Okay, George.
I'm gonna go with Davey.
Okay,
because I love that little bit of him trying to get a car.
Dale.
I'll also go with George.
Okay, Shelley.
George.
Okay, and Mr. Irrelevant at this point, Derek.
Aww.
Well, no matter what his vote is, it's going to
Right.
George. So
yeah, exactly.
No, I would agree because it takes immense courage to stand up to your friends.
Well,
Okay.
he's our
So
compass.
that's George then.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So George
Our
George
compass.
wins the karma votes.
Oh snap!
Oh, we got to roll for karma again.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
What was that 1d50?
Yeah, what did you
Oh
say?
yeah, right, yeah. So you wind up getting 200 karma for yourself, for yourself.
I'm gonna use it to punch Tyrex in the mouth.
Oh, what if Tyrex doesn't have a brain? I can't attack him. Shoot.
What if he doesn't have a brain?
Oh my
A
gosh.
world beater
You know what?
doesn't have a brain.
You,
He just
look at
walks
my
up.
roll.
Yay!
He's
I've
a
been cursed
simple
by
Jack.
I've been cursed by Davey. Look at my roll. I just
Told
did it.
you. Yeah.
All right, so
1d50. I rolled 2.
so next week we have Cyberpunk on Wednesday at
Let's go.
7 p.m. Then we have Street Fighter on the 9th at 7 p.m. as well. So thank you guys all for tuning in and hanging out with us. And we will catch you again next time. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Night, everyone.